Oh man, so you're thinking about buying some land in Oklahoma? Well, in this video, I've got my notes right here. We're gonna talk about some things that you definitely wanna know if you're thinking about buying land in Oklahoma. And while I'm at it, we're gonna walk around this property that is available at the time of this video. Put a sign out, walk around, and just take a look at it. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing when buying land in Oklahoma is you absolutely need to remember that this is an oil and gas state. This is an oil and gas state. So you've got to absolutely look at aerials to try to guess if there's oil and gas pipelines on the property or not. But the only way to absolutely know if there's oil and gas pipelines on the property, well, like 99% know if there's oil and gas pipelines on the property, is to purchase what's called an ALTA survey. And that is about a $10,000 to $15,000 survey. But if you get ready to build a beautiful home on it, a beautiful shop, et cetera, and you have no idea if there's oil and gas pipelines on the property, or if you're thinking there might be, but you can't tell exactly where they're at, you've got to purchase an ALTA survey. Now, there are around the ALTA survey. There absolutely are around the ALTA survey. And what you could do is you could call Oki Dig. It's a company or organization that goes and marks all the lines that they have records of in the area. Oki Dig. That's a less expensive way around it, but there's nothing that is as good as an ALTA survey. If you want to just hope that there's no oil and gas pipelines in the area that you want to build your home or build your shop, then Oki Dig is the way sort of around having to drop $10,000 to $15,000 on the ALTA survey. The second item you got to pay attention to when you're buying land in Oklahoma is the water drainage. And the reason you want to pay attention to that is because you don't want water running towards your property. You want the water to run away from your property, not towards it. Because if water is running towards your property, that's going to lower the amount of places that you are going to be able to build on. Or you want to at least be able to put a ditch around where the water is draining and push that water off to somewhere else that it goes to. I have no clue why these bolts are loose. I'm having to tighten them up. I have no clue why these bolts are loose. But does that make sense? You want to pay attention to the way that the water flows on the property, because you don't want it running right to where you're building a house like that. That's pretty important, right? That makes sense. Thumbs up if that makes sense what I'm saying about the water flow. And like I was talking about earlier, if you are in the market for some property and you're looking for something just under 5 acres, not a full 5 acres, but something just under 5 acres, this one right now, it is available. Already, what's great about it is it already has electric and a well on the property. So that's one of the huge benefits when you're looking for land, is you want to make sure that the water and the electric are already on the property. And if you see this video, 3 months, 6 months after it is already dropped or already put out to the interweb, don't worry, reach out. My team and I, we've got access to properties like this throughout the whole state. So whether you're wanting to buy or sell in the Panhandle, whether you're wanting to buy down by Texoma, reach out. My team and I were absolutely here to help you with all your real estate needs. Let's get back to talking more about what to look out for when you're buying land in Oklahoma. Another thing you want to look out for that no one almost ever talks about, but it's super, super important, is deed restrictions. These are covenants that the developer, like whoever developed this rural neighborhood, put on the property. Things like no manufactured homes, things like you can't have more than 1 livestock per acre, things like no more than 7 poultry per acre. A lot of people never talk about the deed restrictions. They run with the land. Now, of course, one of the neighbors are going to have to be the ones that sue you to enforce the deed restrictions, but it's something you definitely want to pay attention to when buying land in Oklahoma, because you would think in a place like this that there wouldn't be any restrictions on you. Like, you want to have goats, you want to have swine, you want to have chicken, any of those things. each one of those things could actually be a deed restriction. If you want to move a manufactured home out on a property, have a larger home that costs less to purchase, you might not be able to if there's a deed restriction on the property that says no manufactured homes. Man, I'm having the worst luck with my microphone. Another thing that a lot of people never think about is if the property is actually located inside a city. You could be in a rural area like this and actually be inside city limits. Now, how angry would that make you if you wanted to have rural property that's not inside a city? All right, guys, let's talk about well water in the area. Well water in the area. So right here, I'm on Oklahoma's water well map. It's Oklahoma's water well map. Reach out to me in a DM or shoot me an email. Contact information down below, and we'll go over water wells in your area. Now, this is no guarantee. This is no warranty. This is just what other landowners have hit in the area that you're looking. This is what other landowners have hit in the area that this property is that we're walking by today. And do you see all these greens in the area? Because it's 2 miles up this road, 1, 2, and then almost a half mile over is the entrance to the property. Then you drive down about halfway and the property is probably right in here. I'm going to say the property's right in there. So these are the water wells in the area, and the green is good. You want the green. You want the green. Here is, right here, groundwater wells green, and we're going to pull some of these up, but what you don't want is another color besides green. What is this one for? This is just geotech boring. So it wasn't a water well, it was geotech boring on that one. Let's find a well that was a saltwater well. All I did was zoom out a little bit on the map. What's this one? Geothermal heat pump. Oh, cool. Geothermal heat pump on that one. What is this one? Geothermal heat pump on that one. Putting in some sophisticated housing, sophisticated housing temperature controls in some of these properties. That's pretty crazy. Infrastructure, geotechnical boring. Wow, I don't see any water wells that are showing bad. I'm just showing water wells. I'm just showing drills of different types. Groundwater test hole. Wow, yeah, these are all green in this area. So this property is located 2 miles up, then about a half mile over, and you're going down about a quarter mile, so it's located about in here. And you see how they're all green? That is great. And so when you're getting bids, when you're getting estimates, regardless if it's this property or any property in Oklahoma, because the video is about buying property in Oklahoma, I'm just using this property as an example to promote the property to you if you want to buy it, and to show you examples of what I'm talking about when I'm walking the property. If you want to see about how deep you're going to have to drill to get your water well, you could go to this website right here. I got to point this way because the camera is mirrored. This website right here to be able to see about how deep you're going to have to drill those water wells. So that is how you do that. If you want to see information on these water wells, just scroll down and see where it says more info right there. You click on it and it's going to tell you how deep they had to drill. But if you just scroll down and you see total depth, 200 feet on that one. Total depth, only 100 feet on that one. That was a fairly inexpensive drill. Total depth on this one, 160. They hit water at 110 the first time. Over here, total depth on this one, it's looking like 100 feet only is how deep they had to go to get the total depth, and 180 on this one. So that's pretty cool information, isn't it, guys? Give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up if you like that information on water wells and how you, as a citizen, can easily get that information. So this portion of the video, checking water wells when you're buying raw land, this is an easy tool that the state of Oklahoma, has to offer you as potential land buyers when you're researching your property. Because as agents, we can't do the research for you. The state of Oklahoma requires buyers do the research on their own. We could point you in the right direction like I'm doing on this video, but you've got to research it on your own. Now, another item that a lot of people do not ever think about in these rural counties in Oklahoma, guys, Oklahoma is still an abstracting state. And what that means, to give you title, they have to build a book that has every single deed from patent to present. So having to build a book from patent to present, especially in these rural counties, like take Leakey County, for example. Guys, there's only 2 abstractors in the whole county of Leakey County. So if you're buying a rural property like this property, in Oklahoma in any of the other rural counties, and there's only 1 or 2 abstractors, the turnaround time, you can't get your expectations as high as when you're buying in like Oklahoma County, when you're buying in like Tulsa County, where there's a huge population and there's, you know, 5, 6, 7 different abstracting companies competing for your business and getting work done for you. Just give yourself a little more time for abstracting and title work when you're buying in these rural counties. At the beginning, I said the number one thing you got to look out for when you're buying land is oil and gas pipelines. Another item you want to pay attention to when you're buying land in Oklahoma is oil and gas well sites. Oil and gas well sites. So let's just keep on with the same what is it called? Theme that we've been using for this video, which is this property that we're walking, and let's check out where the oil and gas well sites are near this property. So I'm just zooming in here and I need to find the lake. See, okay, here's Leakey County. There's Bell Cow Lake. So let's try to zoom in right there. There's Bell Cow Lake, 1, 2, and over. So 1, 2, and over. Okay, there's the road right there. So look, at one time, there was a well right there. And there could still be a well right there. This is Oklahoma, guys. There's wells in neighborhoods that have $400,000 properties in Oklahoma. There's wells in neighborhoods that have $400,000, even $1 million properties. There's wells on the state capitol. What is that? Like a $1 billion property at the state capitol? I couldn't even imagine what the value would be on that. But look at all the wells out here. What is this one? There is what type of well is this? AC. It's a gas well. And then this one right here is an oil well. And then, so that's how you look up different wells in the area when you're researching properties. It's a great tool especially if you're buying huge chunks of property, like 80 acres, like 160 acres, which we can help you with. This is a great tool to look at, and we can point you in the direction. Like I said about the water wells, we can point you in the direction, but you as a buyer have to do your own verification. That's what the state of Oklahoma requires. We can't do your inspections, your investigation reviews for you as agents. We can point you in the direction to find the tools. We can connect you with the people to get the answers, but we cannot give you answers. We cannot do the research for you. You have to do it on your own. So if that was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let's go back into walking the property and talk about some other things you need to know about when you're buying land in Oklahoma. And last item I want to chat with you about on today's video on things to look out for when you're buying land, rural land, lots of land in Oklahoma. If you're buying it down a gravel road, if you're buying it down a county road, you want to pay attention to those roads, because what they do is they bring graders through the roads every now and then and grade the roads and make them a lot more drivable. But if you're driving down a gravel road, and whether or not it looks like it's been graded recently or not, you definitely want to call the county commissioner's office in Oklahoma for the county that you're looking at the property in, and you're going to want to talk to that county commissioner's office and ask them, hey, how often do you guys grade that road? How often do you maintain that road? Do you only grade it after big rainstorms, which they all should do, or do you maybe only grade it 4 times a year and not after every single major rainstorm? That's something really important to pay attention to when you're buying land in Oklahoma. Now, if you're on a paved road, of course you don't have to worry about that. It's paved. You assume that it's being taken good care of. All right, guys, but I'm curious, what are your thoughts on buying land in Oklahoma? What additional questions do you have on buying land in Oklahoma? Was this video good? Did it give you some ideas, some things to look for when buying land in rural Oklahoma? Quick guesstimate on if you want to bring a dozer in and just doze a whole bunch of paths, doze the fence line, doze the pad site where you're going to build the new house, stuff like that. You can look at a small dozer about $250 an hour, a big dozer about $450 an hour, and then everywhere in between right there. And they do minimum 1 day worth of work, I believe. Most dozer companies do minimum 1 day worth of work. But if you've got to bring a dozer in on a wooded lot and get everything cleared out, just give yourself about 2 days. And while they're there, if they have extra time, have them build you a runoff pond. Thanks so much for watching today's video on things to look out for when buying land in rural Oklahoma. Be sure to check out this video right here. That's another video the algorithm says you might be interested in taking a look at. And then this playlist right here, see that playlist? That one? It's all my land videos all in one spot. So you can sit there and watch all of them and glean more knowledge from every single one of my land videos that I've put together. I'll see you guys on the next video.